Hello Animal Crossing noob pals! Welcome to chapter 4 of my Animal Crossing New Horizons tips and FAQ video series. At this point in the series, we're really close to not being noobs anymore. So in today's video, we're going to talk about a few things. This includes what to do with our brand new Nook's Cranny shop, how to start building homes for your new villagers and continue to invite more, how to upgrade resident services from a tent to a building, and something you've probably all been waiting for, how to start exploring the cliffs on your island. Additionally, are you ready to move and change up your home? We're going to discuss that in this chapter. So without further ado, let's get going. Alright, welcome to this video. If this is your first time in this video series and you want to see more from before this chapter and after this chapter, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along on the playlist so that you can catch every single chapter in this series. I am filming these videos live in the process of playing Animal Crossing New Horizons myself, so everything you're seeing here is in real time during my gameplay, and we are answering questions together as I progress. So here we are in chapter 4, and we finally have our Nook's Cranny built into a real brick building. Not only does it look a lot nicer, but it also provides us so many more things to do within the shop. So first up, in the shop, you're going to have 4 exclusive items in the shop each day. So if you check into your game daily, you will be able to see these different items in Nook's Cranny every single day and start really building up your inventory of things like furniture, decorations, toys, and lots of other stuff. You're gonna see a lot of different items swoop through that Nook's Cranny. Some that you're gonna love and some you're gonna be like, is that really an item in this game? Now a pro tip when you're doing this, further along in the game, these items are gonna come really in handy for you if you're looking to theme your island and build different types of areas on your island with different themes. For example, you're gonna see things like a dartboard, an arcade machine, little arcade stools. So Nook's Cranny is gonna kind of provide you with some of these items to help you move along if you wanna start theming your island and making little themed areas. So make sure when you're going into the shop each day and seeing these new items, you're starting to think about what you want to do with your island. Next up, you're also going to get an update to that little cabinet in the back where you find your plants, your DIY recipes, your flooring, and different wallpapers. So make sure to also be checking that daily if you're looking for different wallpapers and flooring for your house. Another addition is going to be something called a hot ticket item. Now that the shop is open, Timmy and Tommy have a little more leeway to pay you more money for your items. This is where hot ticket items come in. Each day there's going to be a hot ticket item that you can find by talking to Timmy and Tommy. They'll tell you what it is, and then throughout the entire day they will pay double the price for that item. So sometimes this works out really well and you're going to get items that are easy to make, like through just weed clumps or tree branches. And it can actually be really lucrative for you to just go around and build a ton of them and sell them for double the price. But then also sometimes you're gonna see items that require items that are a little bit harder to find, like scallops, for example, and things that really just aren't worth your while to be DIY crafting just for the purposes of selling. Now, before, you were used to being able to go into that resident services tent around the clock and selling your items anytime you played the game. Now that there's an actual shop, the shop has hours. These hours are going to be from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. So if you're someone like me who often plays Animal Crossing late at night, don't worry, you can still sell your items when you're playing. You don't have to hoard them and wait till the next day. However, there's going to be a little bit of a trade-off for this. So you'll learn that there's a little drop box outside of the new Nook's Cranny where you can deposit items and receive payment for them the following morning. This makes it convenient to play at night and to continue to just throw items in there so that you can get some bang. However, there is a service fee in this box, so you are going to receive fewer bells if you use the deposit box than if you would during the day when the shop is open. So my advice here is that if you have something that you know is going to be a bit more expensive, like a fossil that you're not giving to the museum, a rare sea creature, hang on to those items, but really go hard overnight on things like tree branches, weeds, seashells, the things that are super easy to get that you can get pretty quickly and you can just kind of grind and drop those things in the Dropbox and not worry about losing too much money. Then when you sign into the game the next day, you'll get a phone call as soon as you walk out of your house letting you know that your bells have been deposited. Now, one little spoiler, you will be able to increase the capacity of Nook's Cranny again in the game. We'll get to that in a later chapter. But for now, enjoy the new features that come along with building your Nook's Cranny. Next up, let's talk about bringing your new villagers to your island and finally getting them homes. So in chapter 3, we discussed why it was important to visit other islands and how visiting Nook Mystery Tour Islands allows you to meet campers on the island and invite them to come back to your village. So hopefully you've already done that. If not, make sure to go check out chapter 3 so you can learn how to invite those initial villagers back to your island. So at this point in the game now, Tom Nook is going to want you to bring 3 new villagers to the island before you can progress to the next step in the game. In my case, I invited 2 characters from Nook Mystery Islands and then 1 was just assigned to me. Once you have 3 villagers scheduled to move to your island, guess what? Tom Nook is going to assign you the task of building their homes. And before you do that, he's going to request that you also build a bridge to make the island a little bit more connected. So not only is this a step in the game that's going to move your gameplay forward, it's also going to make it a lot easier for you to kind of get back and forth across your island and not have to use your pole vault. So to start construction on your first bridge, you're going to need log stakes, a bunch of them. Once you gather a bunch of these log stakes, you'll be able to craft a DIY kit for your first bridge. After crafting that, you'll walk around your island and find the perfect place that you want your first bridge to be constructed. Make sure to choose wisely. You're definitely going to want your first bridge to be in a location that you know you use pretty often. So try to connect the main island to the next largest piece of the island if that's across a river. Once you place it, construction will start and will complete the following day. Then, the next day, when your bridge is constructed, Tom Nook will congratulate you and say it's time to start building homes for your new villagers. Now, this isn't going to be quite as easy as it was to build your own home. You'll actually have to do a little bit more work to get these homes built. So as usual, the first thing you're going to need to do is scout a location to build each of these homes. You will be building 3, and keep in mind that you can eventually put up to 10 homes with 10 villagers on your island. So consider this when you're picking the spots to put these first 3 homes. If you want to put the villagers all together, make sure there's plenty of space around the 3 homes so that you can continue to expand. If you want to keep them far apart, make sure you're taking that into consideration and really try to visualize putting 10 different homes on your island as you're placing these first 3. After you've selected locations and put the home building kit down, you'll notice that these homes require you to provide 3 pieces of indoor furniture and 3 pieces of outdoor furniture. Now, Tom Nook has provided the DIY recipes you'll need for each and every one of these houses, so you don't have to worry about that. So then what you'll want to start doing is crafting these different items for each of these homes. To get a list of these items, you simply have to walk up to the construction site. There's a little sign on the front, just click the A button once you get up to it and the list will pop up. You can check both indoor and outdoor. Once you have your list of items, get building. Now, once you finish an item, you're going to return to that plot of land, and if it's an outdoor item, you're going to want to place it just outside of the house. So get it as close as possible that the game will allow to the plot of land and just drop it. Leave it there. Go into your pocket storage and click place item to drop the item. For the inside items, you're going to want to go back to that little deposit box and you can find the option to drop that item off in that menu there. Once you have dropped off all 6 items for each individual house, the notice box outside will alert you that you have collected all of the items and that this home is now sold, construction is complete, and your villager will move in the following day. So that being said, next up, you have villagers coming to your island, you've got a bridge built, but you still can't get up the cliffs. Well, it's finally time. After starting the construction on these homes, Tom Nook is finally going to give you a ladder DIY recipe. For this one, you're going to need 4 pieces of all 3 types of wood. So get out your axe and start chopping because you're going to want that ladder as fast as possible. Once you have it crafted, all you have to do is equip it like you would any other tool, walk up to a flat cliffside and just push A, and you'll climb right up to the cliffside. Another thing that's super cool is up on that top, you'll finally be able to see cedar trees. And if you're interested, you can do the technique where you eat a fruit and dig up the tree, and you can start bringing some of those cedar trees down to the lower part of your island and mixing it up a little bit with your different trees. Additionally, you can treat those cedar trees the same way you would to the other trees. You can chop wood from them, you can shake them and have items fall out of them. Occasionally you're going to find different items in them, like for the Christmas event that just happened, little Christmas ornaments fell out. You can find pine cones in there instead of acorns. Okay, so now, the following day after you complete construction, when your 3 new villagers are there, of course Tom Nook is going to be so excited, going to congratulate you, and he's going to tell you that it's time for resident services to upgrade from the tent to a real building. So unfortunately, this is going to shut down resident services for an entire day. So the day following the day that Tom Nook tells you this news, you will not be able to use resident services at all. This means you're not going to be able to use the kiosk, you're not going to be able to get your daily free Nook miles for consecutive days. But don't worry, once it is finally built, the Nook kiosk will recognize that it was out of your control and reward you those daily mileage points. So once resident services finally moves into a building, you're also going to meet a new very important character. That's Isabel. Isabel is going to take over Tom Nook's job. She's going to be your new gal for all of your daily announcements, and Tom Nook is going to take over the sole role of construction consultant. So they're both going to reside in the resident services building, and you can talk to both of them anytime you want, but they're both going to offer different services. So for Isabel, you're going to have things like raiding your island. This is going to be important a little bit further in the game. You don't really have to worry about that right now. You can talk to her about other villagers, and you can even talk to her about changing the flag or the music on your island. Now, Tom Nook is going to provide you a bunch of new services as construction consultant. Most of them involving changing up the look and feel of your island. And the very first thing he's going to offer you is an expansion to your home. The first expansion you're going to be offered is simply making the one room you have larger. And like most things, that will take one day to complete. So the following day, you'll see that your basically living room, your entryway room, has been expanded to a little bit larger of the size. After you've expanded your home, you can return to Tom Nook and again ask him about your home. And now you will have the option to finally move your home. So like we discussed in a few videos back, if you do not like the placement of your home, you now have the option to move it anywhere you want on the island. And once you ask Tom Nook to move your home, he'll give you your little kit, and just like you do for all of the other buildings, you're gonna scout around the island and find the place that you would like to put it. And of course, it will be ready the following day. And then finally, once your home is moved, if you want to move it, you can start adding new rooms. So basically how this works is you talk to Tom Nook, you tell him you want to talk about your home, and then you select the option about expanding your home. Now Tom Nook, of course, is going to pick this for you. Unfortunately, you can't select where you want the room to go first or what room you want first. And each room is going to cost a little bit more money than the previous. So of course, to build this extra room, Tom Nook is going to provide you a loan, just like he did when you first constructed your home, and you won't be able to build any additional rooms until that loan is paid off. So as you can imagine, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of work, and you're going to have to grind a lot of bells, especially if you're building bridges and inclines all over your island. Speaking of bridges and inclines, let's talk a little bit about that construction aspect of the game. So bridges and inclines are another option that you have via Tom Nook at the construction counter. To get to these options, you're going to want to select Let's Talk About Infrastructure. In there, you'll see bridges and inclines. Click into those and you'll be able to choose the type of bridge or incline that you would like. There's a number of different ones and they range in price. Now, again here, I'm going to recommend that you really think about what you want the future of your island to look like and purchase a bridge or an incline that kind of fits that theme or that vibe that you're going for or want to go for on your island. So once you select what bridge or what incline you want to build, you'll get your kit and you'll go off and you'll select the location for it, just like with all the other buildings. However, this time it's going to be a little bit different. You're not just going to place it and then it will be ready for you the following morning. So how this happens is you're going to meet a new little character called Lloyd. He's going to sit post next to the site that you've picked for your bridge or incline, and he's going to collect funding to pay for this new feature. So if you have bells saved, you can pay this off straight away. Or you can leave the site as is and just give money to it whenever you're able. You'll also notice that donations can be accepted to pay for these loans, different than any of the other loans like for your home. And you'll also know that other villagers can actually donate money. Now don't get too excited because this doesn't actually happen a lot, and when they do donate, it's very, very little. You can also have other friends pay off these loans if they visit your island. For example, one of my friends who visited my island saw that I had a bridge under construction and paid off the remaining balance on the loan. So anyway, that's the slight difference, and that's how it's going to be for the rest of the game. So any of those bridges or inclines that you build, the prices are always going to be the same that you see in the Nook menu, so it won't be like expanding your house. But you will have that repayment process with Lloyd, much like the other buildings. So now bridges and inclines are a great way to progress in the game. Not only are they going to make your life easier because you're not going to have to always use your pole vault or your ladder, it also allows your villagers to start moving freely on your island. So it's pretty cool because you'll start to see your villagers crossing rivers and going up onto the cliffs every now and again. It's fun to see your island being used more than just that little tiny section of the island. island you started with. Okay, so that's gonna do it for chapter 4 of the Animal Crossing tips video series. We're really getting there. We're almost not noobs. I think we're still noobs, but we're definitely moving closer to the expert side of this spectrum. I hope you found this video informative, and if anything in here was confusing or you have more questions, make sure to give me a comment down below and I'll help you out. If there's anything I missed or some details that I might have left out, make sure to drop those in the comments too, so that we can all collectively help anyone who's coming to these videos to get information about Animal Crossing. You're definitely well on your way to getting this full island and almost getting to the end of the game, which is honestly where the game really starts. So keep progressing, keep spinning those bells, keep building buildings, and keep bringing in villagers. Because the more of these different aspects of the game you continue to use, the more fun the game is going to be. Now stay tuned for chapter 5. In chapter 5, we're going to be talking about all of the new things there is to do once you have more villagers and once you've got access to your Nook's Cranny and resident services being in a building. There still might be some new buildings that are yet to come in the game and some new characters you have yet to meet. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know with a like, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can follow along as I continue to make more chapters in this series. Additionally, I also do a lot of Pokemon and Pokemon Go videos. So if you're interested in that too, you can find that here. Anyway, that'll do it for today. Thanks so much for being here to all of you who are here viewing, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. See you later, my Animal Crossing's noob experts.